And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving on to Erangel back home in the classic version, where we had some pretty mixed matches yesterday, in all honesty. Na'Vi picking up a 17-kill game yesterday on Erangel. It was a monstrous performance. And of course, in day one, we saw an impressive performance from FaZe as well. But second place for ENCE in that previous game. I think they're going to be happy with that one. 8 kills for SKUIJKE. Yeah, what a game we've had. FaZe ubah picking up 9 kills and a monster performance in game 1. Game 2, we had another 8-kill game coming out from Braexco. Game 3, an 8-kill game coming out from SKUIJKE. Some massive performances.
Yeah, there's been some wild things so far. But we are getting to that stage in PUBG's life where we know who can perform at certain levels, who can take these clutch scenarios and basically just complete them. It's scary to see. I still say that PUBG is very much in its early stages when it comes to esports, especially when you look at all the other games at its level that are surrounding it. It's good to see. I love it, mate. There's obviously a few things that still can be done here and there, and I'm expecting big things from it next year. This was all about its inaugural year, especially with the leagues and so on and so forth. But to know that we've got another year of it from the 5-year plan that we've obviously seen around social media and so on and so forth, I'm excited. I think we've got a good future ahead. Hopefully bringing more players on. We've already seen in NPL some of the younger generation have now stepped up to the big leagues and on the...
Oh, my word.
Speaking of big leagues, you are going to have to be playing on the big leagues because that is a horrendous flight path and will cause many a problem for people who like to live up in the north. Yeah,
that's an issue. Now, we're going to see some teams making adjustments. Based off this, probably see a couple going Sosnovka. Raise Your Edge look like they will be one. Obviously, Yasnaya team looks like Desperados are going to be with them on the Sosnovka Island, along with 7 who are going down to Novo. Digital Athletics, I think, are going to go Primorski by the looks of it. So they made a big adjustment. Obviously, Rozhok not really viable. And it will be DA and N47 into Prim. Now, the question is, are we going to see someone go for vehicles? I think DA may be long dropping for a vehicle. It looks like they're going to, because they realize that N47 are dropping here. They don't want none of that. And in all honesty, with the way N47 have been playing, I don't think I'd want to be tangling with them just yet either. And they're going to adjust and go further afield.
Raise Your Edge are stealing vehicles away from Desperados. Circle slams in on the west, so those players that have gone all the way over there, DA are now in a really prime position to kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's good for them, that is.
Yeah, they could take... well, I'm about to say they could take GATKA, but they won't. They're too further afield on the west coast, so you can loot west coast if you really want to. There's no major cities around there. You have some major compounds, especially as you go further up towards the field's edge and outside of Quarry. Between that and Hospital, I don't think they'll go as far as Hospital. It would take a lot of time to get up there and get themselves geared up, and everyone else is going to, by the time they actually get geared, you know, people like Liquid already on transition.
Interesting. So, think back to yesterday. Obviously, we had Team Liquid. They're coming out of particular ready. Now, remember yesterday, they got caught by Reciprocity early and spoke to Ibby about it, and GMT said, if they try that again, we are ready. So this time, I think they're just simply, based off the fact that plane path's there, they're well aware that, you know, Georgia Pole, all the compounds up there, CrowCrowd are going to be in and around GATKA, so they've just got to be avoiding that. But I guess they're going to one drop, probably one at the yellows, one at the next one. They're going to find cars as they go.
Setting off at 2 minutes 15 is a dangerous game.
It's a low loot game is what it is.
It's very low. I'd expect only a few helmets and maybe the odd AR between them.
There's nothing at the mountain. Where are they going? They're going Georgia Pole, aren't they?
There's 3 men in a car. If someone were to cop for that vehicle on the way by,
they're going to South Georgia.
You think?
Yeah, they are. Look,
might do crates. There's potential to do crates at the foot of the hill and then re-rotate round and put them. They're basically going to a better position off the bounce of this. It's to be able to move.
Ibby's going to go mountain. You watch this. Ibby will go mountain because he was a bit late looting. Is he going to go up the mountain?
I think he's got gear. I think he's just watching, essentially, the top entry point, personally.
Well, definitely a change from Team Liquid based off this. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because the position they could go to is like, think of all the territory that NIP would ordinarily be happy with. NIP, by the way, are on the move. So, ironically, NIP are going to go for the big swing, going around the north of Yasnaya right now, and they're going to come in over the George Paul bridges thinking...
That's what they did yesterday.
Yeah, and they're going to be thinking, there's no one here, it's safe to come blast in. They might even get caught out by Team Liquid in George because they're just not going to be expecting that. Like, this is... Team Liquid don't do this. They've never done this.
Interesting. This will be fun. Because, as you said, they will have absolutely no idea that they are there. Now, remember yesterday we saw a bit of a strange loop pattern. One in North George, one in crates, and then 2 actually inside Georgetown itself, followed by West Town. So it's going to be a strange one. They're extending a Team Liquid, you can see it on the map, over to Hospital, which gives them a bigger stake inside the circle and easier maneuverability. I also like what CrowCrowd have done. This is a bit of a strange play, but it's going to work out really well for them in the long term. They've gone from a 2-2. So they left 2 all the way further afield, if you would say, more towards the bottom end in the middle of the circle. The other 2, they've actually bypassed Gaka, which is their local. They've only put 1 player in there. The other player, which is Temi, is actually scouting radio tower in the fields.
I love how players are kind of still sticking historically to front 6, back 6, despite obviously the improvements the apartments had. They're still just like, no, we're carrying on front 6, back 6. That's what has always been believed as the best loot areas.
Apps is good, but it's really bad for getting out of there quickly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like with front 6, back 6, it gives you that quick option just to jump and go.
Oh wow, okay, that's a mistake in my opinion. So unless they're expecting Razor Edge to go for a camp here, they now may have just pulled the trigger and decided that Razor Edge will camp them. There's no reason why they won't now. And yeah, Razor Edge, sure enough, I'm looking at the map, I'm seeing them pull up, they're getting out of vehicles. And they are now going to camp Desperados. Desperados just set themselves up for that by taking those individual shots. They could have probably just said, let's let them go. And Razor Edge, okay, they've got back in vehicles. I think they're going to go. They're going to go.
Like at that stage, really, what's to... look at the kill feed, Lee. Look at the kill feed. Look who's turned up and turned out.
Yep.
That is the most weirdest and unexpected play of the tournament so far. Liquid being here has played exactly how we expected it to. NIP has come for a readjustment off the back of being all the way in Lipovka.
Vard's going to go west. Vard and I didn't see who was left. I think it's Miraku that's in the car. They go north and they're going to go Westbridge of Georgia Pole. And EB's there.
They've got no loot, Lee. I think this will be. I don't think they'll go bridge. I think they'll gear up.
NIP are looted Lipovka.
Yeah, but look at how long it takes to get over here. That's the reason they come here to re-gear again.
But I mean, they just like.
It's weird.
We said it ourselves, right? It's worked out. Liquid is just now going to go get a spot, dim it. And so they know that antenna is taken. DA were down on the swamp area as well, which is 6mo just returning shots onto Timmy there. So Team Liquid now just looking for a spot. Simple scouting coming out. Samty's on the hills by the hospital. Gemty's looking down the coastline. Aitzy just got ripped off his bike by Bestalosh on the pass there.
Did. Over further afield, Razor Edge have backed away. They're not even bothering to go for a few points. They want a better position inside the circle, so they've moved.
G2 gone for a spread camp there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a... I mean, they do this weird flex drop off the back of farm, don't they? And then sometimes they tend to split it. But
that was a legit camp. Look at their position.
TSM.
They were all pulled up, looking for either TSM or FaZe or someone like that. Try and catch them out. It has been TSM in the past they've caught out, but TSM already passed them by. Razor Edge, though, coming way down. Remember, they were on the Sosnovka Island. They've gone all the way down the south, sort of Primorsk way, and now they're coming up. They've got to be careful. You can see GamerLegion just off to the side, who are, so far, having a pretty good first week. I think they're going to be happy with, 70 points I think they have so far. It's going to be certainly happy with the start they've gone. Ooh, it's going to be a drive-by. NELLOZ going to be hopping into the passenger seat. Braexco is going on to Edelweiss. A lot of shots in transition here. Yannis does catch Sadovnik, so that's one of 7 players caught out. What is going on in the fields? All these passenger switches that... Oh, Ibiza, you've got a lot to answer for.
You've got to do whatever you can. I'm already seeing one vehicle up in smoke in the flames in the distance. Evil onto Lynxy, so Razor Edge do lose one on transition, unfortunately. It's going to be a bit rough at this late in the game. They did come off Sosnovka and all teams already set up in front of them. We've seen GL with this position where they are is unbelievably good. You have so much vision of that field from the farms, like barn area, which Hamster's just come out of, looking outside the porthole windows towards that entire open area. Generally speaking, you don't get too many kills because people don't run it. They're not stupid enough to do that because it's such an open field that goes down into swamp.
That was a barrel switch.
Oh, so he actually got it out of the car?
Yeah, barrel switch across and blew the car up.
Beautiful.
Right, where are we going to go? The circles are pumping in. You can see the Knights coming slowly over. G2 starting to scout. Chris just tracking them in. Wow. All right. That's
spicy.
So this is looking like Raise Your Edge, GamerLegion. Those two compounds, we've seen it finish in and around here. If you look just south of GamerLegion, you can't see it, but we can. The map. I thought the map was above us. I'm in my own world. But anyway, just south of there's a little shack where it finished in Phase 1, I want to say. I want to say Phase 1 when Raise Your Edge picked up a win.
Was that with the older
NIP, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I don't know which one you're talking about, though, specifically.
Jokers were playing, so yeah. It was Phase 1. But a long time ago. But oh my god, the rotations. TSM on the move. ENCE, everybody, obviously with a shift like that, everybody's hitting the coastline. It is chaos. Not a great deal of shots going on between them because everybody's also in the vehicles trying to move. Rory has to give up on his Dacia or Dacia, whichever you prefer. James does catch TRYFFELI off on the rotates. Team Liquid have actually gone way down on the beachhead coastline. Oh no, ENCE, they've got nowhere to go. They're going to go straight into Raise Your Edge. miikaz caught in the open. GamerLegion shooting them. This is what you're talking about. The position that GamerLegion has such a good viewing platform of everywhere around them. And James has actually rocked up and finished off the kill on miikaz as well. And the chaos continues out in the fields. Ibi confirms another on TRYFFELI. Na'Vi, they've gone down south. They're actually very close. Are they gonna collapse on DESPERADO? I don't know if they know they're there. Or that's gone just south. SKUIJKE doesn't have a great deal of damage, so wow. That leaves ENCE down to 1. The Rustanmar, the last man standing. BestLodge caught out. I was saying they were pulling up their DESPERADOs. DESPERADOs will confirm the kill as they take BestLodge off his vehicle. The bike line strewn on the floor.
So Na'Vi leaves Pokemon all the way out of position now on the beachhead. 2 players are on the hillside. I'm surprised they went that deep, to be fair, because what they're holding is a pretty good platform to be able to springboard into the next circle.
Jempty nowhere to go.
Jempty's off the back of the bike. That's rather unfortunate because there was room for cover where Ibi is not too far from him. Central point is looking around where Rustanmar is. B is the YOLO solo. Jempty's dead. SIMSY confirms that one. Easy peasy. ABeautflDeath and the rest of the boys in Digital Athletics, they've been here for quite some time now. TSM's in the back garden, so they have to be extremely cautious. G2, where's this? It's all the way down south. There's still 3 players up, but 2 teams will have an eye line on rather shortly. They can't go across the road to the left because then they fight DESPERADOs in the beach yellows. If they go up, then they're at a downhill deficit to Na'Vi, who will be able to have an eye line fully on them. Up in the north, it's getting a bit busy. The Knights, they're playing the slow game, unfortunately, and NIP are actually magnetizing towards this compound that the Knights are turning up to. Znark's like, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's bugger away from this one, boys, because that is a hot compound now. They could retreat. They've got a decent compound inside a bit of a hill.
It's the best they're going to get at the moment, NIP. Remember, they lost the 2 to Team Liquid back in Georgia Pole in their home.
This circle's rough.
Yeah, well,
the last 2 games have been brutal.
This is only Phase 3 as well, so it could still have a chunk of water in there. We'll see if it pulls through the beachhead.
Yoink.
Okay, there we go. This is more like it. This is what we're expecting. Okay, so N47 are looking golden right now. That compound is absolutely paying dividends. G2 are going to go Quarry Hills, by the looks of it. Maybe just the compound towards it. They're getting lit up by Na'Vi. They have been, so it's going to avoid the damage. Let's have a look at this little replay. Gustav taking down DA's ABeautflDeath there as they continue to finish off.
Good smokes.
Yeah, covered him well. We'll be able to crawl out of that one.
Bit cheeky. I thought we were looking at a player inside the car then. Just from the driver's position.
This is Toll's angle.
G2 are the only team that have made a major adjustment so far.
Oh, 7.
They've jumped into going central of the map. They've got something to work with. It's not much, but it's better than nothing whatsoever. I think the last 2 players from G2 that are down the south will now meet up with the rest of their teammates. This gives them a good bit of land inside of the circle. The north is the real problem. Liquid, NIP, the Knights, where do you all go? You can't advance forward because you've got TSM engaged elite. Whoa, wait, hold on. Liquid's running this. Where do Liquid make landfall here? They've decided to just tank it across the entirety of the map.
There is the combat. Okay, they're going for the shack. This is the Hail Mary at the shack. Ibby is not a great spot, but it's going to give him a little bit of safety. 2 in the shack. Ibby out wide. Just going to smoke his exit and make sure the tree can cover anything else. He has got the defilade behind him. FaZe have gone quarry walls, both sides of quarry walls. Reciprocity are making the move. They're also moving south, down towards the sort of compound south of it. But G2 and Na'Vi have kind of been exchanging blows for quite a while. Nowhere for Braexco to go here. I'm somewhat surprised that they pulled up here, based off the fact they're well aware that they were exposed to Na'Vi. Now, G2 just got in there. ubah's actually on the quarry wall above them. So while they're in there, that smoke's going to pull full vision for ubah to say, there's someone down here.
I really didn't expect Liquid to make a Hail Mary maneuver like that. It's kind of paid off for now, but it's a very rough area, I want to say, of a better word. G2's has paid off by giving them a decent compound, and again, further and deeper inside the center of the circle. ENCE is just chilling because they've only got Rustanmar, but he's in a good place. He's in a little hidey hole, so not many people can see him. The north is still pretty fragile, with the Knights knocking on the door for GamerLegion, but to be able to breach that compound that they're holding is an extremely difficult task, and they would leave themselves extremely exposed to NIP, who's below them, behind them. As you mentioned at the start of this one, N47 is absolutely loving life. Michael, those SLRs with TSM are paying off. They are getting some knocks onto Digital Athletics, but there's no confirmed deaths as of yet, so those points are still lingering in the distance and waiting to be picked up.
So it's going to pull from water, but whereabouts? It goes quite a hard south shift, actually. So G2 and Na'Vi are looking good. N47 can pretty much stay where they are. Team Liquid's move has kind of paid off a little bit, but SIMSY needs to get moving. FaZe, quarry wall, honestly, is a great place for them because they've got no one contesting them up there at the moment. mxey, though, Fuzz and ubah, they're all kind of positioning to catch Reciprocity in the rotate. So Reciprocity going for it. Shiv's going to get in his vehicle. He's probably going to be the one that they'll aim for. Here's GamerLegion and the Knights all heading south. TSM and DA may be joining you in a moment. Vex tries to switch, so a bit of vehicles. Narc jumping on the back of the wagon there. Rustanmar's about to take Bjorn's head off. He's just biding his time, went to stand still. It's like, you know what, you're in the open. Yeah, and that's the reason he waited was to make sure he's down the hill, gets the shot. Not because he can get an easier shot, but the Knights will finish the job anyway, as they just pulled up. That's actually a pretty clean pick from the Knights there.
Yeah, he waited just to make sure that once he knocks him, he was down the hill and couldn't basically run over the top. Or Liquid, hopefully it's a better way of breaching these rooms than what we saw on day number 1. I'm hearing a grenade being cooked. Oh. That's really good timing. He actually heard the nade pulled, so decided, okay, well, I'll go out and kill you instead while you're still lingering around. Door's there to give him some defense. He cleans up Jeems. These little...
Raise Your Edge are sending it. Are they going to go into Na'Vi?
Are not friendly with Team Liquid.
They're going to go for the roadside next to Na'Vi instead. That's risky because Desperados will have an angle on them. Here's 7, Buster in his shack. TSM and DA, they're way, way up north at the moment. Ooh. As Mitraleius will go down. Iroh will finish the job there on his former team. The new man that replaced him. SIMSY, NIP are done and dusted. 14th for them as they go down. 2 vehicle explosions will end NIP. The first one being earlier on.
Let's not forget, if Desperados pull up somewhere to Raise Your Edge, because Raise Your Edge are just on this skyline. This is still the battle.
Oh, it's the wood shack. Oh, no.
Basically followed onwards from Sosnovka. That shack is breakable. You can shoot this shack to bits. You can even put a vehicle through it and run over whoever's in there waiting. So that is a very... Oh, wait, TomiL. Did I see a grenade from TomiL? Yeah. I did. It's there.
Look,
it's inside.
It's caught them out. SIMSY goes down. mxey takes a big chunk of damage. There's a second one following. That's a smoke that he's just thrown over, isn't it? No, it isn't. That's not a smoke. That is absolutely plumb on the nose. It leaves Coldamenta, the last man standing. Meanwhile, Misa just finds a hell of a headshot on Rory with the Kar 98. Gets a glimpse on Iroh. That one landed as well. Iroh's chest just about cushioning the blow. Reciprocity and FaZe also very close to one another. That's up on the edges of the quarry as we see the battle for the north.
Looking for that player skylining, but he knows that if he can take another member of TSM down, there's a potential kill point. Waiting for it. Shoots through the smoke blindly. Doesn't find a target just yet. Reels is on the re-rotate, coming out of the blue. He'll be damaged. TSM will be waiting towards him. N47 still basically just holding TSM in such an open and exposed angle for CC to maybe take advantage and steal some points away from them. Circle about to update. Where does she go? What does she do? She lingers more towards the south. G2, that send earlier on in a few circles ago. Holy hell, has that paid off now?
So Desperados look like, well, they're going to get a crate actually, but they're going to have to maybe make a play on the backside of Navi's compound up in the north here. They're all going to move. We've got N47, TSM, CrowCrowd, and Pittsburgh Knights all in this northern area that have to make a move into the circle. Everybody else is kind of in the circle, really. It's just a battle for position, D8. It's this horrible position. Everybody's been in the open before where you're running across the swampland. It's just somewhat thing you never want to be in. It's unenviable position. He's trying to creep up behind the likes of Reciprocity who are working their way up the quarry walls.
On board with the Knights at the moment. Grenade instantly thrown.
That's Michael gone.
Evil's actually helping them out. Doesn't know it just yet. Might be able to steal the kill with a second bone, and he does. N47 put the player down. The Knights finish off and get the point. Another one. So Evil looking this time to try and actually make sure that that one is claimed and is his. Rory chomping at the bit to get a heal off. Over the top we go from Caldermenta. Last man standing here for Raise Your Edge, but doing some points and doing some damage. Drayden mopped the hell up. If this grenade finds a target, then my god, that's so... Wait. No, so you can hear his... Is he at the door? Nope. What?
No, he was looking at his reels. He thought he was going to get pressured by me. He didn't.
I could hit. Yeah, so he just run by then.
Yeah. So NOOKIE, oh wow, 6mo, hello. How close do you want to look at it? Looking up his nostrils as he comes towards him, Tiikzu. Look how close he is, he's literally on top of him. Oh my word. Good grief. Well, the nades are coming through. 6mo catches one shot, the body is right next to him. Just didn't see him at all there. Misa, oh no, ubah's going to catch him off guard. You know, that nade's gone to 6mo. But N47, by the way, are sweeping up their kills. It was 6mo they just took down. So, again, catching those exit kills and then going for the later ubah that went down on top of G2's Rex head.
That would have been incredibly red if he'd have managed to tag a player up. ubah just needs to be careful. The reason he's not shooting at Misa is he don't want to give away too much information to where FaZe Clan are.
Oh, N47 are pushing on the Knights. Over on the other side of the hill, you can see in the picture here as Scoom keeps Misa at bay. Just behind the hillside, Reels has been dealt with, so that's the Knights gone down. Raise Your Edge are going to be possibly next as Misa will fall to G2. G2's compound, they've got 3 back on their feet. I didn't realize they'd actually managed to get the 3rd man back alive. So suddenly that play is really good. Desperados have made a hell of a play. Look, they're down in the south now. So they picked up a crate at the same time. So SIMSY's making an angle for them. All 4 members of Desperados alive. And now the circle makes it very, very interesting indeed. Desperados play. They can get to that shack. Look in the distance, just behind the tree line. There is a shack there with the UAs, with the Dacia. It's a risky one, but it could give them a possible winning moment.
There's also potential here. I'm intrigued to see what he does with it. SIMSY might be able to take an off angle and feed information to Desperados. They're actually moving into more to the middle of the map to take these little shacks and compounds that are left over. The ones that G2 didn't take. They have the biggest amount of land in this. They have the biggest compound. FaZe Clan and Reciprocity. They will have to go at it toe-to-toe, head-to-head to see who comes down first. FaZe Clan don't necessarily have to come down. They can stay up there on the quarry hill. They will do eventually by the circle. But for now, they're in a really safe position. They can just run that. He's been
on your
fishing for a while, hasn't he, from up there? That must have been 6 or 7 grenades, kind of committed to the cause. Finally, it does come through. You have to raise the question of, was all those grenades worth it, using all that utility? Well, they've got a point from it, so maybe. Took the time, but they finally found their one target. Makes life a little bit easier, as they will have to rotate away from the top of that hill.
Chris just down Vasco as they were trying to push. The Blues still on their back. Caldermenta, oh, he's been spotted in the open. Chris will get the shot in, but Braexco will steal it away. And G2, as with game 2 of the day on Miramar, They're looking to try and pick themselves up a win here. They have a really strong compound for it. Just going to make sure they don't get picked off. FaZe are going to be above them. Desperado's to the left. Na'Vi across the field. Of course, depending on where this circle goes. Desperado gifted another crate, by the way. That's their second crate, possibly. 7 getting pushed. In the shack, what has just happened? Page and Vasco go down. Buster, he's dealt with Jeems. He's dealt with 2 members of M47. Do not pass the shack. T-Bone gets caught out by Scoom as he tries to come up as well. Oh my word, N47 just down to evil. Just from that, what has happened?
Buster's loving life in there. I'll be going for shacks more often in future games. Waits for people to just turn up. The one with Jeems really
He was
good.
gone. N47 had gone. 4-man. N47 just wiped out like that.
Buster's laughing. He's laughing. And you know that Scoom and Monkey and everyone else knows that he's in there because of all the noise that is made over by the shack. So they'll be keeping an eye line on him. Whether or not he gives it up to the blue or runs at the last minute is a different story altogether. Scoom now has to deal with G2.
Oh.
And he does,
Went for
at
the
least
repeat.
with one of them. Good hold, good read. His teammates are behind him.
Oh,
or at least
Na'Vi.
only one of them. Oh, he was. Monkey's just gone down.
So Buster will just bleed out. Ubah's looking from above. He's going to try and collect. He should be able to see Monkey. Doesn't matter. He's already gone.
He might catch Scoom there. It's a bit... Okay, that's a different angle. So SIMSY's just crept up, kills him with a 249, then walks back.
That's a bit nasty, that.
Yeah, it's very cruel.
Well, the circle's gone N47. Sorry, Na'Vi's way. And now Desperados. Well, their little shack that they're behind there is in play, but that's about all. There is a crate ahead of them as well that they could use for cover if they get the smokes off. G2. This is just on the edge of the circle. I'm not too sure if Braexco is going to quite have enough in that little shack. That's about all they've got. Outside of that, nothing, which is obviously an open run straight to Na'Vi.
Do Desperados still have vehicles? Because if they do, they could pull them up at the crate and basically build themselves a little fortification, which we have seen before.
They have the Dacia, I think. SIMSY and Ultra, I believe, still have the Dacia over there.
Because you won't expect them to go put all 4 men in that shack against the white. Drive to the crate, slam it against it, take the tyres out, blow the vehicle up, and then you've built something. That's pretty big. To be able to take a player in RV down at this stage in the game when they hold that compound, that's good.
Are you going to try and take a vehicle somewhere?
Well, Na'Vi, again, this very reactive team will not want to stay here. They'll want to move forward, and that's why they're keeping it as a piece of utility to use later on in the game. So they move it away from the blue. Yeah. You can take a lot of life out. It's still behind the wall, I think, so the tyres are going to be fairly okay. Ubah and Scoom, the solo snakes with their individual and respective teams, have to now deal with G2. Desperados
are regrouped. Ultra's just joined the rest of his team. Ubah is still the last man standing for FaZe up here. Looking down towards G2, well aware, of course, that the fact Desperados are over to the side. Sees NELLOZ. Braexco had gone out. He actually vaulted out the window, Braexco did, so he's looking the other side. Yeah, Braexco not looking at all. He knows NELLOZ is over here, but can't find the target because he'd vaulted out the window. Meanwhile, Scoom still alive. Oh, he's pinned out by NELLOZ. He's got nowhere to go with this one. NELLOZ realizes he's like, well, the blue's going to get you. You have to move. You have to go in the open. Just about creeps inside. I don't think he's going to get the revive of Braexco. I think that's going to get bled out.
I think Scoom's safe here.
Yeah, I think so too.
I actually think, oh, it's going to be touch and go. Yeah, he's safe.
Desperados are coming for it? What?
I'd rather say, why are they... I suppose this is the lay of the land. It's a... But
they found a ditch. I'm not sure what that play was.
It's a questionable one because now they've put themselves in open water. They've lost their vehicle, and Na'Vi are closer to the circle than they are. They have to make the move and do the work to get out of that situation. This is...
They're just going for kills,
I think this is going all wrong.
Yeah, that's... NELLOZ is... Oh, he's got the angle on Calvin. Forces him out. Now the circle kind of helps Na'Vi. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it isn't a field. It's an open field.
I don't understand the car play.
Look at that. Look at that. It's an open field. There's nothing there. There's not even a rock to be had in that field. Oh. Stops, breathes, takes a moment to find the age. Doesn't matter. The circle does it for him, but Aduzi's been caught. That's a massive, massive one to capture. SIMSY gets a doozy down, and that just leaves one man, PEL over on the other side of the circle, so they're having to worry about what's going on. Scoom's going to lay low. Doesn't matter. He's been found out as they push on through. They need to use the smokes, but don't forget PEL. He's the original Navi man. He's been here for 3 phases, and he finds TomiL down low. Look at Calvin Klein. He's making a massive play. He's going for the flank. PEL has completely lost track of him.
He's lost track of the other
Sees the car. SIMSY, he hit 249. Trying to find Scoom. He gets caught in the smoke. The blue will get him down. PEL, he's got a dasher. What's he going to do? It's a 1v1v1. Scoom versus PEL versus Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein sees him, tries to get the shots, can't manage to land them, has to duck down. And Scoom has somehow come out. And that nade.
Oh my
Where's it going to go? It's going to
Oh.
bounce towards him. It's a little short. Didn't have the legs.
Both players in vehicles. You know Scoom's panicking in the distance. Needs to hope these two engage first and they can move forward.
Calvin's got to the center. Calvin's actually got to the center point.
I'm still questioning my mind whether the car ran out of petrol or not. So it could have been, but to pull up there in the vehicle was all kinds of bad in my opinion. I suppose they made it work to
He's
this
got tier
point.
3 gear up.
He does, but
And a barrel.
they did have 4 players alive, and they could have kept 4 players alive.
No utility at all. No smokes. No nothing. Scoom. We're gonna see bags dropped here possibly. We're in the cornfields, boys. This may well be the time, but
So someone either clutches hard here and gets both, or we get the third party.
I think so. The scenario is that
Braexco.
Scoom could pick up everything here because Calvin and PEL, they absolutely know where each other are. Scoom's just sat there waiting for it to play out. He's completely the other side of the circle.
You just hear the gun switch then. So it must have been on single before, which suggests that that was also his range. He's got a comp on the front a bit, so he's laughing. Calvin's got a bush to play with, but his side's going to be exposed. The bags are off. PEL is his. I didn't quite. Is his bag off or is it not? Being in third person like this, remember this isn't what the players can see. They are in first person.
What Scoom? Well, yeah, the angle you see at the bottom. That's what Scoom sees.
Very limited, and while you're moving, you don't have your gun out. So if someone's waiting and camping first, they get the shot.
Calvin's still the most central. Scoom's got to keep on wriggling. PEL is getting close to the center as well. The wriggle is real.
I remember when this used to be a very common occurrence.
Yeah, this was the standard finish.
It's quite rare that we see these days, to be fair.
It's based off the fact that it is a straight open field with absolutely nothing in there. There's not a rock, not a ridge line, and just nothing. It is a flat field.
And no utility been used and abused.
Look at it. Look, from this angle, it's just like you can see them wriggling in. Wriggling in. They are so close to each other. Whoever sees each other first.
Who wins it?
I got a feeling Calvin's got it. I think Scoom's going to see PEL do it. No, wait.
Oh, he's got a barrel. I didn't realize he had a barrel. Barrel on level 3 is going to be good in this.
Yeah, definitely. Calvin's surely got the better equipment.
Oh, they're looking.
They're all on top of each other.
Calvin's on. Oh!
Scoom sees Calvin, gets the headshot. PEL looks across, goes for the spray, catches Scoom off, and Navi picked themselves up a 4-kill win. Well, and Reciprocity somehow got second out of that. You just think of when Scoom was fighting with NELLOZ, G2. Like, we saw him get down low, think, has he just survived that fight somehow? You know, G2 with 3 at that compound. Scoom wriggles it in.
I'd personally be really disappointed if I were Desperados.
Oh god, yeah.
I mean, 4 alive.
With 4 alive, yeah.
4 alive to go down and lose it in third.
The split play was a little weird. I understood they were trying to get the other angle. They clearly felt they didn't have something there, but yeah, it was a play that absolutely didn't work. But let's face it, I don't think I've seen that circle for a very long time.
I just saw a smile from PEL as well.
Ah.
So we know it was good.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a rarity, but we saw it.
That happens. I'm not too sure. It is a real rarity. But as we also said, a very rare finish. Like you say, it's been a long time since we had the little snake 1v1v1s. It's something of 2017,
People
2018.
used to meme on it all the time, didn't there, and everything else. But it is, even if you are new to tuning in, it is quite a rarity these days. We see scenarios like that, everyone just hunkering down and crawling through the grass, and I think that speaks, you know, even at certain points we'd be seeing umpteen thousand grenades thrown and everyone just trying to fish out a kill at the end. But Yeah, a little bit unlucky for Calvin having the level 3 in the barrel, such a close combat weapon.
It was the instant headshots.
I mean, even that last guy you have to speak about, it was got on hipfire.
Yeah.
It wasn't even scoped in. I mean, and this is what I like about these players. Not opting to go for a red dot at that engagement and sticking with it 4 times.
Yeah, it's just how they feel it worked out. But it wasn't the most fanciful win for Na'Vi, but they've got it nonetheless, and that's their 3rd victory, I believe, so far. Let's hear from them. They're with Pala.